Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And we're really excited today. We have actress Micah Kelpin with us today. And thank you so much, Micah, for coming on the podcast.
Hey, everyone. Hey, Rachel. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah. So what we like to do with new guests is we like to give you a chance to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how you got started in acting.
Cool. Okay. Well, my name is Micah. I'm a Vancouver-based actor. I've been acting for about 5 years. And I got started mainly because I was leaving my previous career and had always wanted to try acting. And my retirement actually lined up brilliantly with the pandemic shutdown. So I had all kinds of time to do classes on Zoom and improv and learn how to self-tape and all that stuff. So that's really what kind of opened the world up to me.
Yeah, because you were in production, correct?
I was all through my 20s. I was in production. And I have this, actually, I think it's a little bit of an advantage now. I have this depth of knowledge about the business because I was on that side.
Yeah.
And it's come in handy many times.
I'm sure. Yeah. So did you go to school for acting, or what did you go to school?
I've done, so here in Vancouver, we have a number of very, very good acting schools. And I have trained with, I took advice early on from some other people you might know the names of from Hallmark. One of them was Kevin Anderson. I think he's a Chesapeake Shores fella. But he told me early on to check out Haven Studio, which was one of the local to Vancouver studios. And that was the first place that I took a scene study class. And I trained with Nelson Wong there. And I don't know if you're familiar with Nelson, but he was sort of my first real stage acting teacher. So I trained under him. I've been back to Haven many times. So that's one of the places that I trained for scene study. I've also done improv with the Groundlings out of Los Angeles. So yeah, I've done many different types of training for acting. It's certainly something that for me, I don't believe that I'm a natural at. I think it's a true craft and you really do have to develop it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think most things are like that. Yeah. That it takes even the people who think, oh, they're geniuses. They probably are geniuses, but they've also committed tons of time to whatever it might be.
Exactly. There's so many things you're always learning. I don't know if you ever, get to this point as an actor where you just know everything and can do everything. Yeah. I'm right. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, since you worked in production for so long, what do you think would surprise people the most about making a movie?
Oh my gosh. The number of people and the number of hours and commitment and resources that it takes to get a film made. When you've seen that side of it, you understand every single movie that exists is a little bit of a miracle because it is such a huge, it's called a production for a reason. It's a production. There's 100 people on a typical film crew. And it's just amazing to watch everyone with all of these really specific jobs, and each one of them is so integral to actually making the film happen. So yeah, it's a huge undertaking to make a film.
Yeah, for sure. So many people involved that we don't even think about as much as we should, at least with everything from the editors to all the like grips and the camera, crew and all of that. It's a lot.
I mean, my first job in production was as a location PA.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I was thrilled. I chased down that job. I wanted it so bad. And I spent, probably 18 hours a day standing in the rain, not even getting close to set, not even getting close to the actors or any of the action. I was just like out on the edge of everything, just thinking, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm part of making this movie. And the movie was called Final Destination 2, just for, just to give you a date on that.
Was that your first project that you ever worked on? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what made you?
Really fun.
Yeah, I bet. So what made you decide to take the switch from doing production to trying to make it in acting?
I think it was something that I always had a curiosity about. And I always admired what I saw in the other actors. And I had lots of friends who were in acting and stayed in acting from the time that they were in their late teens to now.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something that I did always want to do, but I never thought that I was the right fit. And I never thought that I had a good look for it. I also wasn't sure that I had the courage because, acting involves a lot of vulnerability, putting yourself out there, not being afraid to look weird, look wild, look ugly,
Yeah.
all of those things. I mean, you don't get to know what role is going to choose you. It could be a role where, you're not a nice character. And so you have to be very open to acting and to exploring all of the things that come with it. And I think as a younger person, I just wasn't there, it wasn't my time.
Yeah. Plus, you have to have very thick skin. There's
You
a lot of
do.
rejection. That would be hard.
Yes. And I learned that I actually think maybe when I was younger, I was a little bit too self-conscious as well. In my first couple of years of auditioning, I mean, I would audition, I kept a spreadsheet of all the auditions that I went to. And, it was like 80 auditions in 1 year, and I'd book one thing.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's rough. That's yeah, I admire the actors that you just keep at it, and that when you're a working actor, just the grind is really tough. I admire it very much.
Thank you for saying that. I think so many people don't realize, I think a lot of people think, oh, Micah, she's acting now, which translates in their minds to she's at home,
Right.
doing laundry, watching Hallmark movies and chilling out. She'll get the odd audition. And what in reality, I'm like, I can't even get out of the house because I'm taping 3 auditions in one day. And then I'm going to do an interview. And then, I have to
Yeah.
memorize lines for my show that I'm rehearsing the next day. And it's like, it's pretty
Yeah.
wild.
That's a lot. Plus, like once you actually get the booking, like people don't realize that how much of it is redoing the same scene over and over and over again, and then waiting for your turn.
True. And um, before I got into sort of a supporting lead role, I hadn't really experienced the volume that comes with being in a show for a while and
Yeah.
having a lot of lines and a lot of scenes. And once you get to that point, I mean, there would be script changes the morning of. I'd get there, I'd be on set, I'd be getting hair and makeup going, getting into my wardrobe, and the director would come or the writer would come and say, okay, well, now we have, you're gonna do this, we're gonna actually shoot it over there, and here's a whole new set of sides to learn.
Yeah.
And so you're on a spot.
Well, doing something like Groundlings has to help someone with that, because isn't that improv?
It's improv, and oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that opened me up so much taking that. Holy smokes, that was probably one of the best things that I've done for my acting career.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/hallmarkies.
I think that would be very challenging. So let's talk about the blessing bracelet. So did you submit a self-tape for this one?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you so excited when you got the part?
I was so excited.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I was thrilled. I have never, so this was my first Hallmark movie. And here in Vancouver, there's a lot of Hallmarks that get shot.
Yeah.
And I don't know, for me, it feels like as a working actor in Vancouver, there's a little bit of a milestone to that. Like, yes, I'm doing a Hallmark, of course. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun. I submitted my self-tape, and then about 2 weeks later, my agent called and said they'd love to offer you the role for Bella. And I was like, amazing, this is great, of course. So yeah, it was really fun booking to get.
Yeah, I'd be super stoked. It's because it seems like, for everything I've heard, and it seems like it's a super fun environment to work at as in the Hallmark movies.
It's very fun. And I mean, coming from doing a lot of indies, you know, I felt like I was being spoiled the entire time.
Oh, yeah.
It was just so lovely to be, you know, driven to set every day and have my own trailer to get changed in. And, you know, I'm coming from last summer, I was literally getting changed amongst like the vineyard. You know, I was like in between the vine rows getting changed out on the middle of nowhere, no cell reception. So it was like coming over to this like network show. It was so well organized. You know, it's just a well-oiled machine. And
they know how to get things done. I mean, I'm just blown away that they get these movies made in 12 days, 12 to 15.
Yes, I think ours was shot in 14 days.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
And so it was a wonderful experience for me. I honestly, now I understand why do so many actors go back and do Hallmark after Hallmark, because it's such a lovely experience. Yeah, the crews are super professional. They're so efficient. I believe this one that I was with, they had worked together. Everyone knew each other. It was just like coming into kind of like a community.
Yeah, it's funny. One of my other podcasts, we were talking about the movie Enchanted, and they said that in there that the musical sequence took 18 days to film, and that's about 4 minutes of the movie.
I bet it did.
Isn't that crazy though? That like 4 minutes, it takes more time than the whole of one of these. That was amazing.
That is amazing. And what an amazing scene though. I mean,
oh yeah. It was so good. So tell us a little bit about the Blessing Bracelet.
The Blessing Bracelet, well, it's an Easter themed film. So it's
airing on Easter, right?
It's airing on Easter Sunday on Hallmark Channel. Oh, it's Hallmark Mysteries Channel.
Yeah.
But yes, it's a really sweet story. And as I was going through the production phase, I actually learned that it is inspired by a real person and her journey. So that was kind of neat for me to know. I didn't actually know that Hallmark did films that were based on real people. So that was sort of a neat little gem about being part of the show.
Yeah, that is interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so the concept of the Blessing Bracelet, basically, I'll start with just kind of giving you the story. The storyline is there's this young woman who's played by Amanda Schull, and she's raising her son on her own, and she's got some financial stress, and she's looking for a second job. And as she's trying to, you know, kind of climb out of debt, she stumbles upon this bracelet that she made years and years ago. And it was this blessing bracelet. So she starts to wear it because there's a connection to kind of looking at the beads on the bracelet and then thinking about your blessings. So when she was kind of in her down and out state, it was good for her to be reminded of the things in life that were positive for her. So she goes through this process of wearing the bracelet and it getting seen by other people in the community, and all of these other women wanted to have a bracelet. And so she builds this little business of selling the blessing bracelets. Of course, there's a very positive outcome for her with her financial troubles because of this new business that she starts.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's kind of like almost like a rosary type of like bracelet.
I'm wearing one right now because
let me see it.
I was given one.
Oh,
Pull that up there for you to see. So there's 4 beads on every one.
Mm-hmm.
And so the thing you'll see in the film when you watch it is so the idea is you're touching the bracelet and you're thinking, oh, I'm so grateful for my boyfriend because he's so loving and kind, and I would really miss him if he wasn't in my life. And then
Yeah.
you go to the next one, you're like, I'm so grateful for my job. And so, yeah, so
Yeah.
it's just a very positive, sweet sentiment.
Yeah, that would be good. And it has Carla Marx in it as well,
I
right?
know.
Yeah, we love him.
We do. And it was so funny because when I was reading the script the first time, his character is described as the hunk. And I was like, oh, there's a hunk in this film. So it was really fun for me to discover that it was going to be played by Carlo. And I was like, hunk, I get it. Okay.
Yeah, accurate. That's really what it said in the script. Hunk?
Yes, he's the hunk.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
It is funny. I know. And I was actually like, oh, well, I guess if
Yeah.
you first, that might not be so funny.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes these Hallmark movies and mysteries movies are like really tug at the heartstrings. Would you say that this is like a drama in that way more than a rom-com?
I think it has its moments that
Mm.
are that for, depending on the viewership.
Mhm.
I think that anyone who's been through a difficult time and has come out of it, they will probably be able to connect with the film. There's definitely going to be some heartstrings pulled on for people who really like puppies.
Oh, yeah.
I won't give that away too much, but yeah, there's some really sweet parts of the film that I think will be heartfelt.
Oh, that's good. I just remembered that's a Dayspring movie, so it faith-based
That's
elements.
right. Yeah, and I didn't know about Dayspring until I got involved with this film, but Dayspring is a subsidiary of Hallmark, and it's basically a line of greeting cards that are
Mhm.
all faith-based. And so, yeah, I think that there's quite a large market for faith-based movies.
Mhm.
So it's kind of neat to be a part of one. I hadn't ever really thought about
Yeah.
it.
Well, they've only done one other Dayspring movie. It was this last Christmas with Nikki DeLoach and Brendan Elliott, Gift of Peace, and it was quite good, especially for a faith-based film, because sometimes those can be very heavy-handed. But this one I thought was very well done. So it made me excited for this new one coming up.
Yeah, I mean, I think the blessing bracelet, absolutely, there is a theme throughout.
Mhm.
However, I think the story is it's very modern. These are modern characters. It's, this woman is struggling. She's been through a divorce. She's coming back into her life in a new way. And she has a group of girlfriends, which Bella is part of that group of women that come around her. And I would say that it's very contemporary.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you play kind of like her friend,
Well, there's
Amanda's
a group of
friend.
us.
Oh,
Yeah,
group. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, we're the Gal Pal group. We were calling ourselves, and the
Oh,
director of
really?
my film was calling us the Gal Pals. Where's the Gal Pals? Get in the seat here. Yeah, so it's there were about 4 or 5 of us that were kind of the key group of women. Some of the ladies that are in the film that are part of the Gal Pal group are Allison Wanzura, and she's been in quite a
Oh, I
few.
love her.
Yeah, she plays the best friend to Amanda. And they were great together. Allison was a riot to work with. I'd never met her before or worked with her, and she's hilarious. She's a
Mhm.
very funny lady. Another one of the Gal Pal group is Madonna Gonzalez, and she
Mhm.
plays a character called Janelle. And so, we're all kind of there as this Gal Pal group supporting Amanda's character, whose name is Dawn.
Mhm.
And we're helping her get her business going, and we're her cheerleaders, and it's just a very sweet group of women to be kind of written into.
That sounds so fun. I wish I had a gal pal group.
I know, me too. I was like, oh my gosh. And the fun thing about the film is that the timeline begins just before Valentine's Day, and then it ends just after Easter.
Oh, nice.
So the gal pals all get together, get all dressed up. They go out for Valentine's Day dinner,
Yeah.
and it's just like it's really cute. It's really, it's really
I
sweet
mean,
things about
I have a gal pal group, but we're literally all over the world. Our little group of co-hosts that we have, but we still manage to support each other through hard times and good times. But it's been a while since I had like a group here where I live. I more have like just individual friends, they're not like all. I feel like that's maybe something more that you do in your 20s, like post college,
Oh,
and then it's harder after that
that's how it is for me too.
because
I'm the
people,
same way.
yeah, people
Yeah,
move and have
it's
kids, and it's just harder.
yeah. One of my best friends doesn't even live in the same city as me. And
Yeah.
so, we're always like, we'll be Instagramming, we'll be texting, we'll be talking on the phone once in a while. Once in a while, we'll have a phone call. And then we'll go on a trip together. Last year, we went to Palm Springs and we
Oh,
spent
nice.
4 days together, and it was great. And now we're like, okay, we're due for another trip. But it's like literally the best friends. You see them like once a year, twice a
Yeah,
year.
it's
Yeah,
true. But I guess that's how you tell like a true friend, is that you don't necessarily have to see them that often. And as soon as you do, it's like click
that's right. You're
back.
exactly where you left
Yeah.
off.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of these shows where you see people that manage to always stay kind of close together and hang out all the time, like something like Friends or Seinfeld or How I Met Your Mother, these kind of shows that I'm like, maybe in your 20s, but once people move and people have kids, and it just becomes harder. It
I
really
think
does.
that might be part of the reason why people love to watch that though,
Yeah.
because it reminds us of a time where you did just have a friend who lived down the street or across the hall, or you had a roommate.
Yeah.
Do you remember having roommates? Like, oh my gosh, now my roommate is my boyfriend and his daughter,
Right.
it's a lot different.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. There's something escapist about a gal pal movie.
Oh.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. Bestselling author Irene Hannon is back with the latest installment in her Hope Harbor series, Windswept Way. Buying a supposedly haunted house wasn't in Ashley Scott's plans, but when an intriguing opportunity drops into her lap, she's ready to launch a new life. But she can't do it alone, and her reclusive new neighbor, Jonathan Gray, may be just the person to help, if only there were room in his life for romance. Come home to Hope Harbor, where hearts heal and love blooms. Buy Windswept Away today at bakerbookhouse.com and get 30% off and free US shipping. That's bakerbookhouse.com.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think that's one of my very close friends is actually a senior officer in one of the police forces here, and she loves Hallmark. And she explained to me, she was like, my job is stressful. I'm always thinking about this like heavy content, and I just want to go home and I want to turn on a Hallmark Christmas movie and I want to just let the day fade away and escape into this world of just, nothing bad is going to happen. Things are going to work out for the people at the end because they're good people,
Yeah. Like, it's nice that they're diversifying as far as they're getting some different types of stories. It's not all city girl comes to the country and finds the hometown hunk. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But it's also like, I'm glad there's that, but there's something nice about just sitting down and knowing exactly what you're going to get and then getting it.
Exactly. It's comforting. I think of it as like, it's comfort food for the soul,
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. Well, I thought I would ask you, since this is an Easter themed movie, if you have any favorite Easter traditions.
Oh my goodness. Well, I certainly did as a child.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I have very vivid memories of going on Easter egg hunts around my grandmother's yard.
Mm-hmm.
That was prime time for me as a child.
Yeah.
Now not as much. Now, life is busy. If I'm lucky, I'll get to spend some time with family. My partner does a really sweet thing with his daughter, and he creates his own sort of version of an Easter egg hunt with her. And so that's really always been lovely to watch. But
yeah, my grandma would go all out for Easter egg hunts and Easter. We didn't live by her, so we didn't get to go that often, but there was a couple times. because we were out east and she was in California. But yeah, she would do like several rounds. So you'd have like the plastic eggs round, and you'd have like a egg round, and different ones, and that was so much fun. And she'd always have everything like color coordinated. Like you get like there'd be like a bunny rabbit, or whatever, like stuffed bunny rabbit, be cute. And it was just always something to look forward to when we got to be out there. And my grandma was really good about making like very simple but tasty food.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, something like she would have ham and deviled eggs, and kind of the what you'd expect to have, maybe potato salad. But it was always, you always knew it wasn't going to be fancy, but it was going to be yummy.
It was gonna be good.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, when you're kids, it's like just getting that chocolate egg and seeing the colors.
Yeah.
I think part of what's fun about Easter is the colors. It's like everything
Yeah.
is bright, everything is pink and blue and yellow, and it's just like
True.
fun to look at Easter stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
And I'd say it's underrated candy holiday.
Oh,
We always think of course, we think of Halloween and Christmas, but it's pretty good. The Cadbury eggs.
Cadbury's. Do you have a favorite?
Of the Cadbury eggs, or
Of
just a favorite
all
Easter candy?
treat. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably actually the Reese's eggs, because they are definitively better than the regular Reese's cups, because they're like softer. The chocolate's softer. I've put way too much thought into this, by the way, but those Reese's eggs are so good.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. Mine is the mini eggs in the purple
Yeah.
bag.
Oh yeah. Oh
They
yeah.
kind of just melt in your mouth.
They're good.
They're incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, those are good. And I've had where people make like chocolate cookies, but use the eggs, and that's good.
That
That's
would
really good.
be good.
I also I'm not a big jelly bean fan in general, but I do like the Starburst ones that have like, because sometimes they're just like eating plastic, eating jelly beans,
Oh, no, I know. Yeah.
but those Starburst ones have like actual flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
Mhm.
Although you have to be careful that somebody doesn't sneak in those Harry Potter jelly beans.
Oh, I've never had those.
Oh yeah, because the whole idea is that it's any flavor, and so you could get a like vomit flavored one, or like a
Like
grass one, or it's pretty gross. Yeah,
mushroom
your
egg.
wax. It's pretty
Mhm.
gross. That's what I would always bring in.
Earwax. Ew.
Yeah. They have really gross flavors. So if somebody's being sneaky, they can trick you
Right.
into gross flavors. But
Oh my gosh, I should probably look those up. I could trick
yeah.
you.
Yeah, that's what I would bring it if I ever got invited to like a white elephant and like a goofy gift, kind of thing. I would bring the Harry Potter jelly beans, because they're so gross.
That's funny. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I'm gonna look them up.
Yeah. Yeah, I told this story before on the podcast, but like the low point for me in the pandemic was Easter. I couldn't be with any family because they were worried I had COVID, but I didn't end up having COVID. But anyway, this was 2020 April, when we were all freaking out, and so I ended up, I was like looking in my pantry, what do I have that's like semi Eastery, right? I had a can of Spam,
Oh.
and I ended up eating, because it's kind of like ham, I was like, this maybe, but
Mhm.
so I had like potatoes and Spam, and I was just like, oh, I'm so sad.
Oh my goodness. Oh, you had a spam. You had a spam.
Yes. So we all appreciate actual Easter now more
Yes. Oh my
because of that
gosh.
experience.
I think all of us had that low point
Yeah.
during that time.
Yeah. It was
It
a
was
hard
so tough.
time.
I know. I'm now kind of at this stage where I'm like, okay, finally I can go to a restaurant and there's no plexiglass in between me and other tables. I've
Yeah.
really started to go back into the theaters, which is making me very, very happy.
Oh, good. Because they need it. We need to support
They
local
do.
theater so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
important.
I just went, because I'm a theater critic as well as a film critic, and I just went yesterday and saw the show Harvey. I don't know if you ever heard of Harvey.
I don't know
but
Harvey.
it's so good. It's about there's an old Jimmy Stewart movie based on the play, but it's about this man who sees his best friend is a 6 foot 3 inch and a half white rabbit. This is his best friend.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So charming, so funny. The movie's great. And I thought, what a brilliant timing to put on this play right during
Right before
Easter.
Easter.
Brilliant.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/hallmarkies.
It's all imaginary. So like with the when the actors like letting Harvey into the room or something, like you just see him kind of move his arm around and be kind of guiding this imaginary creature, which I think makes it more fun than if you actually saw
it would
it.
almost be kind of cheesy to see this big giant thing. Yeah.
And there is one really funny scene where Elwood, who has the rabbit, he has this painting made of him and Harvey, and his sister is like slowly going crazy with all of this with Harvey. And she turns around and sees this painting of him and Harvey, and she's like, ah! Freaking out. It's funny. It's very well done, and I think it held up very well. I mean, it's a play written in the 40s. So,
Oh,
yes.
Harvey. Okay.
Yeah, you should check it out. It's really good.
Oh gosh, you know what? I just did my first live performance over the holidays. And that was like part of, me kind of deciding I wanted to go to the next level as an actor. And there is a thing amongst actors. Oh, have you done anything live yet? No.
Yeah. So was it like a theatrical performance? Or
it was a community theater. It was a Christmas story. I played the Snow Queen. So it was very regal and fun and got a little silly. And it was such a great experience to have as an actor.
Yeah, I bet. That sounds really fun.
We did 12 nights, 12 shows. It was a real kind of taste of what it's like. And now every time I see a live performance, I am just enamored by these actors who do stage. I just think it's incredible.
It's it's so impressive. The talent is just I almost prefer like an imperfect, flawed live like local theater almost even more than like the big glossy expensive Broadway productions, which are obviously super fun as well, but there's just something special about like people doing it just for the love of it and putting and you can almost feel that like community. Yes. It's like a little family is born, and that's just super fun.
That's exactly it. And that was the thing that I discovered. There's an energetic exchange that happens between the audience and the cast when it's in a smaller, like I think we had 200 seats. It was very small.
So fun.
But in that level of intimacy, you get this exchange with your audience that I don't think you would have in a big, huge, like Wicked on Broadway. I mean, you wouldn't have that same, you wouldn't have those moments. And like, you can hear sometimes people from the audience will say something to you and you can actually react if you want.
Yeah, I love that. And they can feed off the audience if they're laughing, like in the show last night, it was so funny. And it got progressively more funny as it went along. I think partly because we were all invested in it. So that's really cool. Well, I guess the last Easter related question I had is how do you like your eggs? Or if you do you eat eggs? Are you
I do eat eggs, and that's
Okay.
so funny because yeah, we have different tastes in eggs in my house.
I guess.
Yeah. So if I'm gonna eat eggs, I would like them in an omelet. So that would be my first choice.
Ah.
I would have my eggs. And then second would be poached hard. And I live with some poached
Hard.
crofters. Yes. I
Yeah.
don't like the runniness.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? Are you
Well, probably over easy is probably my favorite, but I do like a really well-made scrambled egg, like that's soft and fluffy. I do like that with maybe a little goat cheese in there. That's really good.
Ooh, I like that.
It's like, I don't know if you ever seen Runaway Bride. Have you ever seen that with Julia?
Oh yeah, Julia Roberts.
Because the big thing in that movie is that whoever she's with, she just kind of conforms to whatever they like. And so there's like this big kind of climactic scene in the movie where because she just says, "Oh, I like whatever eggs he likes." And so I think it's Richard Gere character's like, "You need to decide what kind of eggs you like." And so she tries all the different kinds of eggs, and she's like, "This is what I think it was Benedict or something like that. This is what I like."
Oh my gosh, I'm starting to. That was a while ago that I watched that.
How do you like
and
your
she
eggs?
Had this. One of the men in her life was like a coach or something like that, and a really athletic guy.
Yeah.
And so they were always doing this athletic stuff together, and she was just like following along with his.
Yeah. And she would kind of, and to a certain point, you do that when you're in a relationship. You become sort of like, even if it's just a friendship. Like I definitely have friends that I'm like more silly with, some that I'm more like, I don't know, kind of academic with, some that just different friends bring out different parts of my personality, but you don't want it to be like all consuming. You still want to have what you like. You want to know how you like your eggs.
Exactly. Yeah. Enough of an individual that you have your own egg tastes.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, we have some get to know you questions.
Okay.
First one, what is the best ice cream flavor?
Oh, chocolate.
Oh, good. Okay. What is your favorite color?
Green.
Yeah, that's very on brand for Hallmark.
Is Hallmark or green?
Green and red, Christmas.
Oh, very right. Christmassy.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I don't even think of it as like, I think of it as like nature, like trees and grass and
Yeah. All right. What music are you into?
Oh my goodness, that's a hard one for me. I like all kinds of music. I would listen to country for half the day, and then in the evening I would listen to some opera.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Good.
Wide range of taste.
Okay. What is your go-to date night food?
Oh, my boyfriend and I, when we're just home alone together and we just want to have an easy dinner, we'll have steak and some green vegetables. So it will be like asparagus or steamed beans or broccoli.
Oh, good.
Maybe a little red wine.
Yeah. Okay. What is your go-to date night activity if you're going out and doing something?
Oh my goodness. Well, I've been able to, so my boyfriend is not in the industry at all. He's an engineer. So I've been starting to be able to get him to come out to live theater with me, and we've watched some of my actor friends in their plays and stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's my go-to if I can convince him. If he can convince me to go to his go-to, it would be like a soccer game.
Oh, okay. Soccer game. I tell you, someone would get major brownie points if they went to live theater with me. I'll tell you that. Yeah. Very good.
He came to the ballet with me once.
Actually. Oh, that's good. That's a keeper.
He's a keeper. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Which do you like better, dogs or cats? Let's see. I didn't hear you.
Oh, cats.
Oh,
yeah.
Cats.
I like both, but I like cats because I think they're a little more wicked and playful, and they're smaller. And I just like that there's less mess.
Well, with cats, you really have to earn their love too. You get that's not the same as with dogs. All right. Which is your favorite, beaches or mountains?
Oh, beaches.
Me too. Same. All right. What's your favorite holiday to celebrate?
Easter, and I'm not just saying that. It actually is.
Ah.
I love Easter because you
Yeah.
know what? My birthday is actually always a week off of Easter. And so I get the birthday and the Easter. So
Nice. Oh, that's good. All right. Last question. What is your favorite Hallmark or romantic movie?
okay, so I have a favorite holiday Christmas time movie, rom-com world.
Uh-huh.
It's Love Actually.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I watched it every year for 10 years.
It's so good.
It's pretty good.
Yes.
That's definitely the favorite like holiday themed one. I've also always really loved Sandra Bullock, and The
Mm,
Proposal was one that I watched over and over and over again with Ryan Reynolds.
it's a good one.
So
Yeah. While you were sleeping, I think it's a perfect film. It's so good.
I
I
was
wouldn't
very,
change literally, I don't think I would change anything about it. I think
no,
it's
that was
so
a
good.
beautiful movie. Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a good script and such great chemistry. So, so good. Well, very good. You answered all the questions. Congratulations.
Okay. Do I pass?
Yes, you passed. You can keep making Hallmark movies. Thank you so much for coming and talk with us. This was a lot of fun.
Of course. Thank you so much, Rachel.
Yeah. So how can people follow you, like social media, stuff like that?
Oh, okay. So I'm a big social media person. I have one social account and it's on Instagram.
Okay,
And my handle is I am Micah Kelpin. So it's just I am and my name spelled out. So you can find me
great.
there.
Okay, great. We'll have that in the description. People can follow you. And thanks again and good luck with the movie. And yeah, hopefully we'll be seeing more from you in the future.
Oh, yes, absolutely. You will.
Okay. We'd like to thank Micah for coming on the podcast. This was so much fun to get to talk with her. And so let us know what you think about all the things we talked about in the comments or on Twitter. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So check that out. Also, make sure you're following the podcast, Hallmarkies Pod, Hallmarkies Podcast, all of our social media. And if you're listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. That really helps us a lot. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that so much. We also have the Patreon group and merch store, so check that out. And thanks again to Micah. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.